We're answering your questions about taxes because they're a little less than 2 weeks away. J.W. didnt is taking your questions about this tax season. All right, so this person is asking, and this is a great question. I filed my taxes in February and I paid back money to the healthcare marketplace for premiums. Then I heard something that I might get a rebate back from that payment. Can you explain this?
Yes, so part of the change was that for tax reform was that the Affordable Care Act penalty and also the individual shared responsibility payment has been set to zero. And so, yes, so there was no amount that you had to pay for that. So that's something that the IRS will need to be adjusting to send back to you.
So, all right, so this is going to work very much like the unemployment did, right? So once you've already filed taxes, you don't need to file an amended return again. What you do is you're just going to wait until they send you that portion of payment back.
Correct.
Okay, want to make sure that everybody's really clear on that one. All right, this person is asking, my daughter works for a company that did not take taxes out of her pay. She did receive a 1099. Will she have to pay taxes on the income?
Absolutely. So yes, so since she was 1099, she's considered self-employed, so then taxes were not withheld. So when she files her return, she may owe money back based on that, but she may not, depending on the credits and deductions that she has. But most likely, she will have to pay some money in.
This next question says, do tax returns come faster from federal and state if I do refunds as direct deposit?
Absolutely. Electronic, everything is the way to go. File electronically and then get your refund sent electronically through direct deposit.
Yeah, I mean, we were hearing even at the beginning of this tax season that there were paper taxes left from last tax season, still not touched.
Correct, and we still know that there are some out there.
All right, so this person says, what are the requirements for me to claim my mom as a dependent?
That's a really good question. So first of all, I like to just mention that dependents are broken down into two categories, so qualifying child and qualifying relative. So this would be sort of a qualifying relative situation. And there are some questions, there's a list of tests that person must meet for all of these requirements to be able to claim them. But if you pretty much provide more than half their support, that mother doesn't even have to be living with you to claim them as long as they meet all the requirements.
Oh, interesting. They don't have to be even living with you. Okay. Good to know. All right. So you need to find those 10 questions so you can look at that. All right. This person is asking, I received a healthy tax return last year. Does that money go on this year's taxes as income?
So your not your federal, but your state refund that you do add that in as income.
And is that a normal thing?
Yes, it is. So that's every year.
And why is that? People will want to know.
Well, it's considered as income. It's unearned income, but it's still considered as income, so that you'd have to qualify for put that on your return.
And is that because the state is like an estimated tax or whatever when you're doing your federal taxes? Is that why?
I'm not exactly sure exactly why that would be necessarily for that. I'd have to really look that up.
Okay, but that is just kind of a standard thing. All right, this person says, if there are 3 people in the same house, but they file separately, will 3 different checks go out to them, or will it all be combined into one check?
If they filed separately, it would be sent to 3 individuals.
Right, and everybody has their own, so everybody is their own specific person. It does not come all to you in one check because you're all living together. All right, this person says, if I dipped into my 401k because of hardship due to COVID, will I need to pay taxes on that withdrawal?
So there was a provision that would help taxpayers due to the pandemic. So you can actually claim that it is due to a hardship due to COVID, which will then lower your liability.
This person says, I owe some state tax, but I'm getting a federal refund. Will the money I owe to the state come out of my federal refund?
Unfortunately, no. You will still need to pay that directly to the state.
Okay, so that goes directly to the state. This person says, do we have to list Social Security as income on our taxes?
It's best to list Social Security as income on your taxes if you have other work, because it could potentially become taxable if you earn too much for another job that you had. So it's best to do that. If you don't have any other job, Social Security then wouldn't be taxable.
But if you're filing this year, like to claim the recovery rebate from last year, you do have to put your Social Security income in there?
You would, and then the program, the software would let you know that you don't owe any taxes for that you can also then put on the recovery rebate.
All right, and tax day is?
May 17th.
And you're not seeing it pushed out, right? It's going to stay that way.
No, it really is. It's going to stay that way. I will say for us living in North Carolina, just so everyone knows, North Carolina did extend the deadline, and so there won't be a penalty, but there will be interest collecting as of 4/16 if you didn't, if you owe.
Right. We're hoping that the lawmakers are going to change that. Absolutely.
Cross
Yeah,
your
crossing our
fingers.
fingers. All right. If you missed any of the information, you can find it in our website underneath the Two Wants to Know section.